I'm Paula. I work at Spice. It's a coding academy, and I am the head of data science and a lead data science coach. And today I'm not going to talk about my work at Spice. I have a talk for you that I've called Your First 1,000 Words Say More Than 1,000 Words. And I hope you get the meaning of it after the talk. Yeah, so I like my job, like my day job a lot, yeah. Reasons are that I love working with data in all forums and running a 12-week bootcamp where we do all broad things from pandas to Docker and everything in between is very rewarding. It also keeps me learning all the time. And one of the reasons I love teaching so much is because I learn so much. But one of the things I realized just when I started doing this for a longer time is that I also watch other people learn. So it's not that I like learning and teaching, but it's this process of seeing people being empowered by the new things they can do. These are the reasons I love my daytime job. And meanwhile, in my other job, things look more like this. So I am mom of a toddler. I'm the tired mom of a toddler. And there are many reasons why I also love this job, but surprisingly or not surprisingly, also many overlap with my day job. Yeah, I am learning a lot. I am teaching a lot. If I like it or not, kids just learn from what you do with how you behave. But maybe the most fascinating thing of being a mom of a very small child is watching others learn. Yeah, watching this little creature learn the basic things. And it's funny because I find myself in my courses often comparing where we're doing machine learning, comparing with how the little human mind really starts recognizing or misrecognizing patterns, etc. So one of the most beautiful things is watching these others learn. And on the terms of data, although I'm known for actually like gathering personal data for projects, I had been taking it slowly or doing nothing with regard to my kid. I didn't want to get a lot of data or gather a lot of data from my kid. That changed the moment something started to happen when he was around 9 months old, and he started producing words. Yeah, first was mom, then water, and these are like 1 month in between. Yeah, and then other words started appearing quickly. And at that time, I thought, well, this is nice. And also because my background is in natural sciences, but I've been a hobby linguist for a while, because for around 15 years, I've been in contact or helping with the analysis and visualization of linguistic research. So I know interesting data when I see it. And so I started gathering those words. Yeah. I had the word and a timestamp. I think I will start collecting those words. And after I had 1,000, this project came alive, this project of analyzing the kids' language acquisition. I gathered the words manually, yeah, in a spreadsheet app from my phone. And I was collecting always the date, the word, and the language. Because as you might see or not see, because the banana is not blended in, we are in a bilingual environment in the family, so most of the words are in Spanish or in German. So it took 17 months to gather 1,000 words from when he was 9 months old to almost no more than two and a couple of months. And then I had this simple table, really just 1,000 words that I could analyze with the usual Python data science tools, plus Basic, which is something that I was using for an own project for the first time. Now, this process of language acquisition is, and I might have to, take down the camera somewhere here or so. Yeah, perfect. So the process of language acquisition is a more or less complex one. Yeah, you have the sounds. Yeah, you have to be able to do sounds or signs. I'm speaking here of spoken language. Then you start gaining vocabulary. Then you have to learn how to combine these words and use different kinds of words, and also cover a space of meaning, and that's semantics. And all of this I'm talking about is an actual field of research in the field of so-called first language acquisition. Yeah, it's not only language acquisition, but first language acquisition. And when I started getting the words, I thought I was concentrating on the vocabulary. I mean, I wanted to say how this kid was increasing its vocabulary over time. And this is the first thing I took a look at. The vocabulary increase over months. And this confirmed my feeling that at the beginning was really easy to track the words. Yeah, it was like 1 month, 1 word, second month, 1 or 2 more words. And at some time, he started producing several words daily. Yeah, so that really were really stressed at some point collecting those words properly. When I plotted that, I saw this very clear knick or elbow at around 17 months. And talking to my linguistic friend, because I actually have a very, very good friend who happened to be a linguist, and that's the one I do these linguistics projects with, not these ones, like real linguistics projects with. She explained to me this is like a real thing called the vocabulary spurt. And it's defined as an acceleration in the rate at which children acquire new words, usually between 18 and in 24 months. And this also happens more or less when children have like 50 or 100 words. So they start gathering this 50 to 100 words, and then whoop, starts exploding. And this was pretty cool already to see this pattern that research knows in the data. But then I thought, okay, so I mean, this is a total amount of word, but this kid is learning words and is saying some in Spanish and in German. So I took a look at that. Yeah. So in the very top, you have the whole growth of total words, and in the other graphs, you have the number of new Spanish words and new German words per month. And you see that the beginning start growing more or less slowly, but then there are some spikes. The other thing that you need to know here, apart that it's a bilingual environment, well, it's a couple of things. First, both parents understand both Spanish and German, and both parents speak Spanish and German also. I speak mostly Spanish. My wife speaks mostly German because that's our mother tongues, but we both understand both, and the kid knows. And also, during the pandemic, this was all during the pandemic, yeah, the kid was born late 2019, there was a very constant environment of practically only the parents. And we knew when there were changes in context. And you see at the beginning, the kid was speaking more Spanish words than German. And you can really see it in the acceleration of the vocabulary spurt, that it starts really going very, very fast until we have a change in the LTAN side. So I started working again, and my wife stayed home, and she was mostly speaking German, and so the Spanish slowed down. Then first it slowed down, and then it completely dropped. Was starting to drop really quickly until my parents came to visit, and it was the first time that the kid was in a situation when there were people that could not understand German. So the slowing down was stopped a bit, and you see the peak going down in German. German took a while to recover, but it did when the kita started. I was having like a normal pace until the abuelos visited again. So it's very funny how you can really see the peaks and the change of context. And this was all fun about the total number of words. But then I started wondering, okay, so what about the type of words? So I wanted to take a look now at the morphology and syntax, yeah, because at the beginning, kids start talking only with pronouns, saying like mom and water and the moon and I want to eat this, yeah. So lots of nouns. Some interjections. Interjections are things like no and yes and oh, like one word things that have the meaning of a complete sentence. And I wanted to see how the others also started appearing. And I have to be honest, I started also trying to log that when I was logging the data, but at some point I didn't know anymore. I mean, is this word like an auxiliary? Is this a pronoun or noun? Luckily, there are tools for that. And I took the words through Spacy, and Spacy has a property to give you part of speech categories of words. And from that, I could assign a category to each of the words. So we have adjectives, adposition, adverb, auxiliaries, etc. Yeah. And then I could track the appearance of these things. So we have first proper nouns, then nouns, then adjectives, adverbs, and interjections. And if I was in the room now, I would ask you now, what do you think came next? Because when I was doing the analysis, my guess was verbs, right? But actually verbs took like 5 more months to come. And that's because in German, there is like a weird thing that are the verb particles. And that's why, like, when you say like zu machen, to close, the particle is a zu, yeah? And little kids at the beginning just use the particles, not the whole thing. And this he made use of this German thing to not having be able to or having been forced to learn the verbs. So he started with pronouns and numbers, and then really months later using actually verbs. Then auxiliary verbs that like serve mostly the grammar, right? If you like, darf ich machen, yeah? Then, I mean, this is already a bit complex because you're using the auxiliaries. At the beginning, it's just the verb. Then we have some particles, conjunctions, and at the very end, prepositions. And actually also talking to linguists, they were telling me with the acquisition of these conjunctions and preposition, this very first phase of language acquisition is completed. And you may think we have all parts, but there was also something missing coming at the very end, the articles, yeah? So der, die, das, and ella, which is super funny because it also tells you what importance they have in the whole communication. And it's actually very encouraging for all of us that don't have German and mother tongue and after 20 years still make mistakes in articles. Yeah, and when you see at the sum of words of this certain category, you see how, of course, the nouns and verbs are the ones that explode also in the vocabulary spurt. But around 18, 19, 20 months, you have this little particles, auxiliaries, conjunctions appearing. And this also corresponds to my amateur marking of, as a milestone, the kid now speaks in sentences. Yeah, so you have to collect not only enough vocabulary, nouns and verbs, etc., but really also prepositions and some conjunctions to build sentences. Can you still hear me, Alex? Because I see you there. It's all good.
Yeah, everything. Yeah, we can hear you. We can see everybody's pretty stunned about your talk. I think that's really.
I cannot hear you, but I'm assuming you can.
Yeah.
Can you give me a thumbs up? Yeah, good. Okay, good. So that was that. And there was just one column missing, and that was semantics. And here I also had a question for the audience that right now my audience is Alex because I can see him. So I'm going to ask him, yeah, 1, 2, or 3. How many of these 1,000 words do you think were unique concepts? Yeah, so things that the kid was not repeating both languages. Like if he had the whole vocabulary doubled in both languages, it would be 50%. Yeah, then we would say like the kids cannot speak 1,000 concepts, but only 500 in 2 languages, right? So 50% or more than 60%, or 90% is unique. What do you think, Alex? 1, 2, or 3?
Oh, me, I can ask her. Who thinks 50%?
You have to give me a sign because I cannot hear you.
Ah, okay, that's strange. Okay, so few, 50. So what's
it's mixed in the audience.
60%. Okay, 90% are unique. Okay, 90.
90%.
Yes,
are unique?
That's the major vote.
Okay, good. So actually, I thought, yeah, that's what people think. Okay, I was guessing at the beginning with 50% because the kid was speaking lots of Spanish, lots of English. Then when I asked my linguistic friend, she thought like, yeah, maybe 60% are unique. Yeah, most of it should be doubled, and some very specific words shouldn't. But indeed, I saw that 90% were unique. Yeah, so he was only repeating some of the words in both languages. Some of the concepts were doubled. I said like, well, that's weird. I mean, first of all, I mean, then why is this? And then why the double words? And again, remember the kid is mostly at home and both parents speak both languages. And here in this graph, you see the appearance of the moment of appearance of the first time the word was spoken, and connected to the duration until the next language was spoken. And the first thing we see is that at the beginning, it took a while until he was repeating concepts. Yeah, so he was first learning the concept, and it took a long while. At the end, it's very, very fast. At the end, he was practically learning the concepts both in one at the same time. And then I was thinking, okay, but then why is he repeating words if we're both speaking both languages? And then I had the hypothesis that I checked that it's phonetics. Yeah. So at the beginning, he was learning practically everything first in Spanish, everything but the complicated Spanish words like pelota, which is ball, is ball in German. That's easy, right? Or ojo, with this very complicated, yeah, it's auge, which for the baby speech is easier. And heiß is also way easier than caliente with 3 syllables. Yeah. So, but this also shows, I mean, the concept that it's not the fact that it's not many repeated words, yeah, is that it's showing that the kid is first choosing somehow to expand the semantic space, and then to actually double them. And if I already had the words translated to English to do this analysis, then I thought, well, then I might as well take a look at the semantic space. And this is like the last part, yeah. So I took the English translation, got word vectors out of it, made a PCA, and here you see the first two components that it's only like 12% of the variance explained, but still, I mean, you have to know that word vectors have like 300 features, yeah. But you see nicely actually how they are still like clustering around concepts, yeah. So it is a real space where you have like the proper nouns, you have all things related to food, which is apparently very important for all of you that have small children, all animals. And then body parts are around here, and then objects and things like this, and more abstract things like feelings, and here are some adjectives and so on. And if we take a look at all of this over time, you can see how indeed the kid starts with mom, and then it starts expanding all over the space, yeah? And then it starts repeating, yeah? So it's really first conquering, yeah, the different parts, and then having the other concepts on top. So this was, yeah, very, very nice, very nice. Okay, so wrapping up, it's only 1,000 words, yeah, 1,000 words and a few data analysis magic skills with some NLP, but you have, I mean, you learn a lot. And also talking to my linguist friends, they're like, whoa, you can start doing like great hypotheses out of the thing also about bilingual language acquisition and the advantages of it, a topic that in Germany is super, super important. Yeah. So in the kita of my kid, I think there are 4 out of 25 kids that are not growing up bilingual or would have the chance. But of course, you need to gather the data, and no researcher can do that. Yeah. And we're thinking this is actually a very nice project to have together with a call for citizen science, you know, like ask around who can help, who wants to help, and make a little research project out of that. I'll start by putting this on Streamlit, I guess, so that everybody can just upload their data and take a look at the charts, and then we'll see from there. With this, I'm finishing. So I'm open for questions, comments, and everything. You can find me on GitHub, on Twitter, and very, very, very hopefully at the next meetup. Thanks a lot for listening.
Yes, so. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Paula. I think maybe it's you presenting. Maybe I'm muted.
I don't hear you, Alex. I don't know if I must. Yeah, because of the screen thing. I think you have to disconnect me.
Okay, so I don't know why. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Have a nice meetup, everybody, and have some vegetables and grilled cheese for me. Okay. Yeah. See you.
All right. Bye. Bye.